Planet Earth is filled with breathtaking natural wonders and astonishing man-made marvels. Yet beyond what we understand, there are places shrouded in mystery, locations tied to ancient legends, unexplained phenomena, secret experiments, and eerie natural events that defy logic. From forbidden military bases and vanished colonies to petrifying lakes and glowing oceans, these places continue to puzzle scientists, historians, and explorers alike. Here are 40 of the most mysterious places on Earth that will challenge everything you think you know about our world. 1. Area 51, Nevada. The Air Force facility commonly known as Area 51, located within the Nevada Test and Training Range, has captured the imagination of both conspiracy theorists and Hollywood for decades. The top-secret military base, which is still operational, is surrounded by barren desert. 2. The Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle is perhaps the most famous mysterious place in the world. This area of about 500,000 square miles sits in the Atlantic Ocean between Bermuda, Puerto Rico, and Miami, Florida. More than 20 planes and 50 ships are said to have mysteriously vanished into thin air or crashed without explanation. 3. Blood Falls, Antarctica. On top of being the coldest and driest place on the planet, Antarctica is home to a crimson-hued waterfall called Blood Falls that starkly pours down 5 stories along an icy white glacier. 4. Coral Castle, Homestead, Florida. A heartbroken man single-handedly built Coral Castle in Homestead, Florida, over the course of 25 years, up until his death in 1951. Without the use of large machinery, he cut, moved, carved, and sculpted more than 1,100 tons of coral rock. 5. Crooked Forest, Poland. This Polish forest lives up to its name, with hundreds of peculiar pine trees. Several hundred pine trees were planted there in the 1930s and grew with an almost 90-degree bend at their base, making them look like fishing hooks. 6. Devil's Bridge, Kromlau, Germany. There are multiple places around the world that have been named Devil's Bridge, due to some sort of supernatural connection, but the most famous one is located in the German town of Kromlau. 7. Devil's Tower National Monument, Wyoming. Devil's Tower is a dramatic geologic feature that juts out of the rolling prairie surrounding the Black Hills region in Wyoming, and it became the first national monument in the country in 1906. It might seem like a majestic mountain, but it's actually made of molten rock that hardened into fascinating geometric columns. 8. Door to Hell, Turkmenistan. Almost 50 years ago, a gaping, fiery crater opened up in the desert of northern Turkmenistan. The Darvaza crater, also known as the Door to Hell, is still burning today, and at night its glow can be seen from miles away. 9. Easter Island, Chile. This isolated island in the Pacific Ocean was once populated by the Rapa Nui civilization, which erected almost 1,000 giant stone statues known as moai approximately 900 years ago. These towering figures, which stand an average of 13 feet tall and weigh 14 tons apiece, captivated European explorers who first landed on the island in 1722. 10. Eternal Flame Falls, Chestnut Ridge Park, New York. If you follow the route to Shale Creek in New York's Chestnut Ridge Park, you'll find a strange orange-red light glowing behind a waterfall that looks like something out of a fairy tale. This eternal flame burning behind the water is fueled by natural methane gas escaping through cracks in the rock. 11. Fairy Circles, Namibia. Millions of circular patches dot the desert landscape in the African country of Namibia. These eerie ovals of soil surrounded by rings of grass are known as fairy circles, because their defined shape and pattern look as if they'd been created by small sprightly creatures. 12. Giant's Causeway, Northern Ireland. Giant's Causeway is a natural wonder on the coast of Northern Ireland that deserves a spot on any bucket list. It features 40,000 polygonal black basalt columns that were created by volcanic activity. 13. Great Blue Hole, Belize. The Great Blue Hole is quite straightforward in its name and yet still overwhelming in size and beauty. This massive, remote marine sea hole off the coast of Belize is more than 1,000 feet across and 400 feet deep. Scuba divers flock here to experience its hypnotically crystal-clear waters, marine life, and coral reefs. 14. The Great Pyramid of Giza, Egypt. The Great Pyramid of Giza has been captivating mankind for thousands of years. The only one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world that's still intact, it continues to be one of the most visited tourist attractions on Earth. Visitors and scholars alike are still baffled by how the 455-foot-tall pyramid was created without modern tools. 15. Island of the Dolls, Mexico City, Mexico. Isla de las Muñecas, Spanish for Island of the Dolls, is an island located in the canals of the Xochimilco in Mexico City. As the legend goes, the island's caretaker became haunted by guilt after he was unable to save a little girl who drowned there more than 50 years ago. 16. Kawah Ijen Lake, Indonesia. Kawah Ijen Lake and volcano are both terrifying and breathtaking because of a rare natural phenomenon that occurs here. Sulfuric gases burst through the rocky surfaces around the lake, combusting when they hit the outside air. 17. Lake Abraham, Alberta, Canada. In warmer months, Lake Abraham simply looks like a lovely turquoise lake in Alberta, Canada. But during the winter, the frozen water gets filled with suspended white orbs that look like snowballs. 18. Lake Hillier, Australia. With its bubblegum pink waters, Australia's Lake Hillier might have the most unique and pretty waters in the world. It sits right next to the Indian Ocean, which makes its natural color really pop in comparison. 19. Lake Maracaibo, Venezuela. Over this bay off the Caribbean Sea in northwestern Venezuela, lightning storms take over the skies almost every night of the year. This weather phenomenon is known as Catatumbo lightning, named for the river that flows into the lake. 20. Lake Natron, Tanzania. Lake Natron in Tanzania is also known as Petrifying Lake because it has the power to turn birds to stone. The water temperature can reach 140 degrees Fahrenheit and its pH level is 10.5, nearly as high as ammonia. 21. Loch Ness, Scotland. Loch Ness is a large, deep, freshwater loch, or lake, in the Scottish Highlands. This loch is famous for sightings of its titular Loch Ness monster, a mythical serpent-like creature nicknamed Nessie. Nessie's existence has never been proven, but it has made this lake a popular tourist destination. 22. Magnetic Hill, India. Magnetic hills, or gravity hills, are optical illusions in which a road that looks like it's sloping uphill due to the surrounding landscape is actually sloping downhill, so cars, buses, and other vehicles appear to roll uphill in defiance of gravity. 23. Marfa Lights, Marfa, Texas. Ghosts, UFOs, fairies. For more than 100 years, onlookers have tried to identify the twinkling lights that appear at night outside the tiny town of Marfa in West Texas. Appearing as bright, colorful orbs pulsating or darting through the dark and wide Texas skies, the Marfa lights have captivated everyone from cowboys to actor James Dean, who saw them while filming the movie Giant. 24. Michigan Triangle, Lake Michigan. Did you know that Lake Michigan has its very own Bermuda Triangle? Many people associate shipwrecks with the wild waves of the open ocean, but there is a history of sunken ships, plane crashes, and disappearances of vessels and entire crews within an area in Lake Michigan created by drawing lines connecting Benton Harbor in Michigan, Manitowoc in Wisconsin, and Ludington in Michigan. 25. Moeraki Boulders, Cocoa Beach, New Zealand. The surprisingly spherical Moeraki boulders formed about 65 million years ago before settling on Cocoa Beach near Moeraki. 26. The Nazca Lines, Peru. More than 2,000 years ago, the ancient Nazca people of Peru carved hundreds of giant designs of humans, animals, and plants into the desert plain. Despite being studied by scientists for more than 80 years, their function is still unknown. 27. Papacolia Beach, Hawaii. The world is full of amazing, vibrant beaches with sand colored by various minerals and chemicals. One of the most striking, rainbow beaches, is Papacolia Beach on the Big Island of Hawaii. 28. Papacolia Beach, Australia. Essentially the Area 51 of Australia, Pine Gap is a satellite surveillance base jointly operated by the US and Australian governments in the middle of the outback. When construction began in 1967 at the height of the Cold War, the public was told it was a space research facility instead of a spying operation. 29. Plain of Jars, Laos. More than 2,000 large ancient stone jars are spread across a plateau in the Xinjiang province of central Laos. Some stand 10 feet tall and weigh several tons. 30. The Racetrack, Death Valley National Park, California. Located in a valley between the Cottonwood and Last Chance mountain ranges in Death Valley National Park, one of the hardest national parks to visit, the Racetrack is a playa, a dry lakebed, best known for its strange moving rocks. 31. Rikhat Structure, Mauritania. Also known as the mythical sounding eye of the Sahara, the Rikhat Structure is a 30-mile wide circular feature that from space looks like a bullseye in the middle of the desert. 32. Roanoke Island, North Carolina. The lost colony of Roanoke Island is a captivating mystery that many Americans learn about as schoolchildren in history class. An entire colony of people seemingly vanished in the 1580s, a couple decades after the first permanent European settlement was established in North America. 33. Roswell, New Mexico. Roswell, New Mexico, has become synonymous with the search for aliens after a UFO supposedly crashed there in 1947. A ranch worker made headlines when he claimed he found debris from a flying saucer crash. 34. Sala de Uyuni, Bolivia. The world's largest salt flat, Sala de Uyuni in Bolivia extends for more than 4,000 square miles. Its extreme flatness and dryness and bright blue skies help create a dreamy mirror-like reflective surface during the wet season. 35. Sea of Stars, Vadhu Island, Maldives. Known as the Sea of Stars, the waters around Vadhu Island, part of the Maldives in the Indian Ocean, put on a magical nighttime display. When disturbed, billions of bioluminescent microorganisms called dinoflagellates in the water emit a bluish glow, much like aquatic fireflies. 36. Skellig Michael, Ireland. Skellig Michael is a mystical island that sits 8 miles off the coast of Ireland and towers more than 700 feet above sea level. A group of monks settled there and built a monastery as early as the 6th century that still stands today. 37. Slope Point, New Zealand. At the southernmost point of New Zealand's South Island, the constant, fierce winds blowing up from Antarctica are so strong that they've bent the trees growing there into surreal, permanent shapes. 38. Spotted Lake, British Columbia, Canada. If you visit Spotted Lake, located in the grasslands of British Columbia's Okanagan Nation, in cooler seasons, it will look like an ordinary, lovely body of water. In the summertime, however, as it gets hot and water starts to evaporate, the lake transforms into many tiny colorful pools. 39. Stone Spheres, Palmer Sur, Costa Rica. Also called the stone spheres of the Diques or simply Los Balos, the stone spheres of Costa Rica remain one of the biggest mysteries in archaeology. The more than 300 spheres, which are almost perfectly round, were unearthed by workers clearing a field in the 1930s. 40. Stonehenge, England. The prehistoric monument from more than 5,000 years ago is such a famous landmark that people might not think of it as mysterious anymore. But how and why these massive stones in England were made and arranged over the course of 1,500 years?